Arg, me hearties, I'm back! Today we shall be doing area of trapezoids, rhombuses, and perimeter of trapezoids and rhombuses. 10.6. Arg! So, before we swabs the deck, we need to learn how to find the height and the average of the two bases of a trapezoid. Arg! So make sure you stop the video and do your practice problems and ask me if there's any questions. Good night, me mateys. Arg!
10.6, area of trapezoids, rhombuses, and kites. We'll be dividing this into two kind of separate lessons. The first one will be area of trapezoids, and the second part of the lesson will be rhombuses and kites. We'll do this in 2 different days. All right, so first, area of trapezoids. Trapezoid, of course, is any figure that has a parallel lines, one set of parallel lines. So these two would be parallel to each other. Okay, I could turn it sideways, and that's still a trapezoid. There's trapezoids that look like squares, and then end like a little ramp. And there's also the trapezoids very similar to triangles that confuse people. Go like this. That looks a little bit like a parallelogram, a little bit, but it's not quite. We might have an angle that goes back and an angle that goes out, and these two lines are not parallel to each other. Okay? So all those are trapezoids, and we have to be able to figure out the area and the perimeter of those. Okay? So, with the area of a trapezoid, all right, so formula for area trapezoids is taking half the height and the two bases added together. So, to put it a little bit different way than that formula shows, I need to find the average of base 1 and base 2. And remember, to find the average, you add them together. It'd be base 1 plus base 2, and then divide by 2, or times by 1/2. Same thing. Okay? Because we need to find, the bases aren't the same, so we can't just use one base or the other base. We need to find the average of the two bases, and that's how a trapezoid works. So, if I was told that base 1 was 6 and base 2 was 10, I'd have to find the average of those two. So 10 plus 6 is 16 divided by 2, or multiplied by 1/2, same thing. I would get 8. Okay? So the average is 8, and now I can take it times the height, which would say it was 6, and I would get 6 times 8 is 48. Okay? It would be 48, we'll say, inches squared. And that's the way you figure out the area of a trapezoid. Average of the two bases. And when I figure out average, that's add them together and divide by 2. And then multiply it times the height. And remember, the height is always coming off one of the bases at a 90-degree angle. We learned that last unit. All right? So, however you want to remember this formula, that's the biggest part about it. So let's try this one down here, and it gives me two bases. A little bit funny height, but that's all right. Two bases. You can see the height's coming off at a 90-degree angle. Two bases are 14 and 8. So I figure out the average of those two. 14 plus 8 is 22, and then I times by 1/2, or divide by 2. Same thing. Half of 22 is 11. My base is 11, so now I just take base times height, and 11 times 11 right here for the height is 121. 121, and since it didn't give me a label, units squared. Okay? Or square units. Let's try a different one. Right down here for area of a trapezoid. Okay? I have two bases I have to find the average of the two for a trapezoid. So, as you can see, they took 15 plus 23. That's 38. Okay? 38. And now you can take half of that, or you could take half the height. However you want to do it. Half of 38 for me is 19. Okay? Or 38 divided by 2 is 19. It's supposed to be 8. 19. Okay? And once I get that 19, I can multiply it times the real height, which is 9. And that is 8. 171, just like it has. 171, and since they didn't give us a label, it is units squared or square units. Okay? And now our last example before we do some practice. We're going to find both the perimeter and the area. Remember, perimeter is the distance around the outside. So for perimeter, I would have to add up all the outside parts, 6, 6, 8, and 15. Careful not to add in the 4, which is the height on the inside. Okay? It's just the height. It doesn't, not part of the perimeter. So now when I add them together, 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 8 is 20, plus 15 is 35. I'd have a perimeter of 35 units. Remember, it wouldn't be units squared because we added for perimeter. All right? That's perimeter. Now, area, I would need to find the average of the two bases. 8 plus 15 is 23. I get 23. I divide that by 2, and I get 11.5. All right? And now I take that 11.5 times the height. 6, 4, 1 spot behind the decimal here. I'm not bringing it straight down. It's 46. 46 units squared, or square units. Questions? All right, let's do your guided practice. 2 problems to do. You're going to find the area and perimeter for these 2. All right? Go ahead and try and find area and perimeter, and you will solve. All right, for perimeter, hopefully you added up. The outside is 21, 24, 22, and 41. Those 4 numbers added together will give you the perimeter. 5, 8, and 10, 108. No label, so it's units. Will this be squared? No. Because it's perimeter. Perimeter equals 108 units. Now for area, you have to take the 2 top and bottom bases, 21 and 41, base 1 and base 2, add them together. I get 62. Now, just like any average, I divide by 2. 62 divided by 2 is 31. And now I take that times my height, 31 times 18. Big, big number. Okay, let's see. 8, 24, bring down my 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. I end up with 8, 5, 5. 558 units squared. Okay? 558 units squared. Good. Okay, let's go to number 2. And that's all we're going to be doing for today. Let's find the perimeter for number 2. See, if I add up the outside, the perimeter equals 8, 9, 10, 14, plus, plus, plus. 8 plus 9 is 17, plus 10 is 27, plus 14, 37 plus 4 is 41. 41 units, not squared. All right, and then I find the area. I find the average of 8 and 14, the 2 bases. 8 plus 14 is 22. Divide that by 2 for the average, or take it times 1/2, same thing. That's 11. Now 11 times 7, base times height, give me 77 units squared, or square units. Right at 77 square units. Okay? All right. Hopefully you understand that. If not, ask questions. Good luck on that.